All right, this is the business law reaction video. The talker starts, not the talker, but she starts talking off about the representatives from 6 European countries came together to create the European Union in 1957. She said that Europe was a mess, so they needed order, and they wanted to create a peaceful, democratic Europe. One of those ways was a one European market, thus meaning the European Union. From the first day, the EU had rules to keep good competition, which is very good, especially in the business world. It is her job to make sure people follow the rules. I guess she works for the European Union, so she has to make sure that people stay within the lines and follow those rules. Why do we need these rules? Because competition means the game isn't over. It means that no matter whose sales are up for 1 year, means the other person can come back. Monopolies will not be created. When greed and fear are linked to power, it creates a dangerous mix. It is not only companies that can undermine fair competition, governments can do it too. Governments can override people and create favoritism almost, I guess. Competition gives consumers the power to demand a fair deal. Very few people think about politics when it comes to business and all that stuff surrounding competitions and deal making and prices and all that stuff. We do not want them to divide the market between them. In a recent study, more than 2/3 of Europeans have felt a lack of competition, which isn't good at all. The majority of Europeans feeling that there's a lack of competition means that someone is taking over, and that is not good for the economy. Of course, some businesses are more successful than others. When we make sure markets compete fairly, then businesses compete fairly as well. The more our societies grow, the more trust has to be given out. Technology changes the way we interact with one another, which would also change how companies go about marketing their products, getting their business's name out, all the stuff that goes along with making sure that people are still buying from that company. Technology tells us to not trust in people, but to trust in algorithms, saying that social media is out there. We talk to people less and less over time. Less than 1/4 of Europeans trust online businesses to have their information, which isn't good, especially that I would say we're going into a more digital age, that if you can't trust the online businesses to have your information, then I don't understand how you're going to get stuff done with buying anything, especially during Black Friday or Cyber Monday. What if people knew they could rely on online businesses to treat them fairly? I feel like that would change everything drastically. If people could rely on businesses to treat them fairly when they have their information and not go out there and commit fraud, that would change the game. I personally would buy a lot more stuff. I see a lot of ads on Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and all those apps, and even on other businesses' apps, I'll see pop-up ads, and sometimes I click on them, see what products they have. One time I ordered off of it and I never got the product. So since the first days of the European Union, the rules have kept the competition. And competition, she finished off the TED Talk by talking that competition is the best way to maintain trust, which is very true. If a monopoly were to exist, they could do whatever they wanted, change things up however they want. They wouldn't be trustworthy whatsoever because they are there. They are the only person that you can get something from. Like if Disney were to go out and buy every other distributor of movies ever, they buy Paramount, they buy Fox, which I think they already did buy Fox. They buy all these different distributors, and like they buy Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, so they can control the prices, what goes on, what goes off, all that stuff, which would mean like you have to go through them. Same thing with like, say Target takes over the world. That's the only place you can get your groceries. That's the only place you can get your clothes. They would jack up the prices because that's how they know they can get you. Same thing with technology. If you can't trust the business to buy something off of their website, then they're going to lose a lot of business, which would give more power to another business that offers stuff more in person than online. I think people still like to see the product and to touch the product, to be able to try it on and all that stuff. Be able to like sample the food, like if you're at Sam's Club or Costco or something like that. Be able to sample it, know that you want it, know that you want to buy it for sure, instead of buying it and then having to have the hassle of returning it. Competition is terrific. It creates a more balanced environment. It helps the economy out so much more. Monopolies do not help at all. That's why they're illegal in America. I don't know, the whole entire TED Talk, she was talking about competition and how competition gives consumers the power to demand a fair deal, and like how it certain things change with competition, how technology changes it, how competition means the game isn't over. She started off talking about the history of the European Union, but she really didn't go into like depth of it. So like she said that Europe was a mess, but I didn't really catch why. I don't know if she even said it. But yeah, competition is needed in the business world, specifically for the sake of the economy. When we make sure markets compete fairly, then businesses compete fairly. If markets are going strong, businesses go strong and compete, everything goes well for us. Like oil and gas. If the market is tainted, and which would mean businesses would have to jack up their prices or lower them drastically. Like right now, gas is costing an arm and a leg for us to fill up our gas tanks, and which means that the market is not competing that as fair as it should be. But yeah, overall thoughts of what she said, I completely agree with everything for the most part. Competition is very much needed in the business world, and yeah, that's the business law reaction video.